Hello and welcome back to another episode of Craven Some Raven. And in this episode, I'm going to be breaking down what I saw in this Bills game, what I liked, what I didn't like, what I hated, what was going on in that game. I'm going to break all my thoughts down on this game. I know it's Tuesday. By the time this comes out, it will be Tuesday. So everyone's already moved on to the Jets by now. I'm a little late to the party. Been busy. Actually, extremely busy. Didn't really get a chance to get to the podcast, and since this upcoming game against the Jets is on Thursday, I might honestly just record another podcast right after this one and have that one come out tomorrow on Wednesday, or maybe even on Thursday. I don't know. We'll play it by ear of corn. One kernel per day keeps the doctor away. Either way, I'm glad I waited to do this episode though. Because a lot of the times, my emotions are all over the place. I don't know about you, but with me, my relationship with football is not healthy. Too much of my overall happiness or sadness or, just hype for the week is based on how the Ravens play. So if I've been having good weeks, like, hey, wake up all happy, charged, ready to go, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, because the Ravens won. The team's looking good. They might make it to the Super Bowl this year. Everything's pointing towards that. But, and they lose, and it's the complete opposite, right? Oh, the world is falling. Fuck the sun. The sky is bullshit. Everything is just sad. Sorry. I got a text, and I'm going to have to pause this. Okay, I am back, and I forgot what I was talking about. Sorry, just texting people. Oh, my God. I've been busy, and it's part of the reason why. I'm sure I will let you know soon. Got some big things coming. Maybe not small, big things. But either way, let's just talk about this game. Because, I remember what I was talking about. The overall happiness, blah, blah, blah. And I'm glad I'd wait to do the episodes, let everything out of my system, because after that game, I was not happy. To me, it felt like a loss. And I sound like an arrogant cunt, but it's like we weren't playing the way we should have. We should have dominated that game. And we didn't. And I know you can't expect your team to go out there and dominate like we have been. I've talked about this. You can't just expect them to keep doing that. But against this team, I thought we should have. We deserved to. Our team is much better than the way they played. And you can see that on the field. It's like they're calling plays differently than they have all year. They're doing stuff, they're out of their element. It just seemed like they weren't clicking on half of their cylinders. And it was upsetting. It's like we should have put them away early on. We had that long pass that was dropped by Mark Andrews. We had another one dropped by Mark Andrews. And it's like, we just weren't clicking. Lamar didn't have his best day, but still, it's like you got a team around him. It's not just him. Obviously, he touches the ball every time, and he just wasn't as efficient at passing the ball as he has been. In all honesty, I think was probably just as efficient as like any other quarterback, an average quarterback. It's just that the Ravens, they only pass like max 25 times a game. So when you only pass that amount, when you pass a very short amount, you gotta make the completions, and that's why Lamar has been super efficient, and our offense has been successful. Not crazy numbers, but touchdowns, which is all that really matters. That's in passing. Like, why is that not the number one stat? I mean, it probably is, but people talk about yards all the time. It's like, go fuck yourself with yards. It's all about touchdowns to interceptions. That is the main concern. Now, obviously, that passing yards will give you context, and so it'll tell you that Lamar, super efficient, making right decisions, if you read between the lines. But the reason I like waiting is because this is the way I felt right after the game. I was upset. I was sad. I had framed it in that sort of way. But now I have rewatched the game. And the way I frame it in my mind now is, hey, the Ravens won 24-17. That is a win, if you ask me. It doesn't matter what the score is, they got a win. Not only did they get the win, is they got the win in the way they did. It's the way they got it, right? The offense wasn't clicking. right? It was doing terrible. The defense, it had its lapses, but they still came out with the victory. How many times in the past have, things gone wrong and then all of a sudden it's a meltdown and everything goes to shit on offense, on defense, like nothing's working on offense, which for portions of the game, that's what it seemed like. And then on defense, everything just kind of shuts down. There was that one drive where they ran pretty much all the way down the field. And then we tightened up. We tightened up in the red zone. And that's what's up. Now you look at it and say, hey, it was 24-17. On a bad day when everybody wasn't clicking. I think part of it is they were already looking towards the Thursday game. You already heard John Harbaugh talking about the Thursday game before this game. I know they say, yeah, you never want to look ahead, but they were totally doing that. You can just tell by the way they were talking. They were concerned about the upcoming week and the preparation that they would have to get into on such a short week. And so I think, I think they were. I think they were doing things a little bit differently. They were out of their routine. And routines, from what players have said, routine is everything, right? And so, I think it was a positive thing that they were able to not click on. We're a V8 and they're running on 2 cylinders. Two of the spark, or I guess 4 V8, Z2, 6 of their spark plugs are down. And we still were able to race and beat them. We still beat them in the quarter mile. You heard? Like, this dumbass racing analogy. But you get the point. Like, I'm not happy that the Ravens played the way they did. But, looking at it, it's all about how you frame things, right? Way of life is all about how you see things, man. It's all in your head, man. Like, but it's true. You could perceive it in the 2 ways. Either the Ravens didn't play the way they should have and you should be mad about it. Or they didn't play the way they did and they still fucking won. And 9-3 at the time, 9-3 Bills team, even though I talked about how I didn't think they were 9-3. I still thought they played tough, but still, I still feel like it was, damn, why didn't you catch that? Lamar, you threw it a little bit too high. It was a bad performance by us, but they still got the win. And I think that should be seen as a positive. That's why I kind of like to simmer on the game a little bit. I like to gather my thoughts. I know it's Tuesday. I would like to do them on Monday, but like I said, busy. I was busy. So bringing things down a little bit more. I know I've already kind of talked about it a little bit, but how we weren't really clicking on offense. And it's the way our offense performs is it's a lot of run game, right? And from that RPO, that run action, we get those easy look passes, and that's kind of why Lamar Jackson has been so efficient. His skill set in the run game plus our actual run game with our running backs, the way they call plays, so many runs and all of a sudden just toss them over the top, right over those linebackers, bring them in, suck them up, and boom, off to the races. Now, I just think we missed our opportunity a couple times. Excuse me. Whether it was a Lamar Jackson overthrow, a drop pass, or just like a weird play call. I mean, they just were not looking 100% themselves. I think the Bills did a great job by stacking the box, and there was like 1 or 2 times where Lamar took the ball and he was going to run with it, but the Bills decided, hey, we're not going to go after the running back. We're going to go after Lamar, because I think they recognize, or I think the thought was, hey, they'll average 5 yards a carry with Gus Edwards or Mark Ingram if Lamar gives it to him. But let's keep on Lamar. Let's stay on Lamar, because with Lamar, when he is running, that's a possible touchdown. So you'll take the 5 yards a carry from Mark Ingram and Gus Edwards to try and stop Lamar, to stop him from reaching the end zone. Now, he still had a couple big runs, I thought, early on. And then we kind of stopped running him. I thought, what the hell, man? Just run the damn ball, because he was supposed to break the record. I thought he was going to break the record in that game, and he was on pace, man. In the first quarter, he got half of it. He got half of to where the record, because he needed like, I forget how many yards, like 40-something yards, and he got like 20 of them in the first quarter. And I was like, okay, here we go. My prediction's right. He's going to do it. And then they just stopped running him. But, God damn it. See, this is why you record on your phone and then you see text and it's like, well, what's going on? Was I talking? I mean, it's damn near impossible to just talk straight through for like 40 minutes on these things. Then add in distractions, visual distractions. Shit's tough, bro. No, it's not. Not as tough as that Bills defense. No. But I mean, I thought they had a great game plan to kind of slow Lamar in the run game. But then also, you know, we kind of Lamar stopped tucking it and taking it. And, you know, out of that game, we hear now that Lamar Jackson hurt his quad. And I think it was on that touchdown pass to Hayden Hurst where he got walloped. He got walloped right in the legs. And so it kind of goes back to that whole debate. Is this sustainable? He's going to injure himself if he keeps running like this. Blah, blah, blah. And then people are going to look at this and say, oh, look, he's injured. This is what happens when you run. No, motherfucker, he did that in the pocket, throwing a goddamn touchdown. I will take the touchdown and the bruise. You know, as a fan, you know, I'm not Lamar Jackson. I'm not feeling how much it hurts. But as a Ravens fan, I will take the trade-off of a sore quad for a touchdown. This is the NFL. This is what happens. This is, you know, it's okay if Lamar gets injured. It's not fun. It's not cool. But, I mean, that's part of the game. And then everybody wants to make a big fuss about it. You know, I can't wait. I haven't heard any I told you so's yet, because I think Lamar has been playing so lights out. Even people who didn't like him, they're finally like, fuck it, man, I have to enjoy this. I can't not enjoy this. I hope he stays healthy. And they kind of just stopped talking about the injury thing, because I think they realized, like, oh, really? Hot take. People get injured in the NFL? Mr. Analyst, my God, Mr. Analyst. I never heard a take so smart. Not in my entire life. I don't know what the deal with the Southern Belle is. I don't know why I was doing that accent, but my, Mr. NFL Analyst. I never heard no take that smart before. Oh, because goddamn, it's genius. Come on inside. Get yourself something cool to drink. I don't know. But I mean, like, this is just a trash take, right? Either way, it doesn't fucking matter. You know, we've kind of stopped hearing it because, like I said, I think people really just enjoy Lamar Jackson. You know, you reach a point where it's like everybody likes you. Not everybody's going to like you, but I mean, nationally, I think everybody's like, yeah, damn, Lamar. The only people that don't like Lamar are people who are playing him, fans of teams who are about to play Lamar Jackson. But, you know, it wasn't his best game, and with the limited amount of throws that we get, it has to be, you know, he has to throw like 70% of the time. And even then, his stats are gonna look modest, and it's okay. And also our offense, you know, the way our defense plays, the way we kind of do time of possession, it limits our opportunities in general. So we're automatically kind of hampering ourselves in the stat department on offense. So you have to be efficient. This offense, if it's not efficient, it doesn't work. I mean, you could say that about any fucking offense, but the way we do things, how long each possession takes, it has to be efficient. It has to work, because it's just, you know, a few yards here, a few yards there, a few yards there, a little catch here, a little catch there, and bada bing, bada boom. Next thing you know, it's been 7 minutes, and they're on the 1 yard line. And that's the way it works. And so when you're not efficient, you know, you can't really sustain those drives. And this is like all obvious kind of stuff that I'm saying, but you know, that's kind of what happened. And it didn't look perfect. And they weren't really running the offense that they have been. I mean, going back to what I was kind of saying earlier, you know, where the way they decided to defend it and, you know, let Lamar Jackson, or, you know, go for Lamar Jackson and not the running back. And that would allow us to get 5 yards a touch. I mean, they were running the ball. They were running the ball well. With our running backs, they were getting, I don't know what the final total was, but they were getting good yards per carry. And it's just like, why were we going away from that? You know, why is Gus Edwards not getting the ball? And it just feels like, yeah, they're giving up the 5 yards per carry to stop Lamar. So let your running backs do that. Get 5 yards per carry. That is 2 downs all the way down the field if that's what you do. I mean, they were getting movement. They were getting push. They were running the fucking ball. And I remember before the game, I was actually on SCG Sports, SZG, Sonny with SCG Sports. I was on his live stream on YouTube, so you got to see my pretty face. And we were talking about the game, and actually Fred from Birdland BS, he was there. And we were talking, we were doing bold predictions and stuff. And one of my bold predictions, I gave 2 of them, just because it was kind of like at the end of the stream. We're like, all right, what's the bold prediction for this game? One of them was that Lamar Jackson was going to tear Ed Oliver's ACL. I mean, it came pretty close. He tore someone's ACL. That dude, that shake. Woo! That shake and bake on him, baby. That was fucking legit. God damn, that dude's a professional football player, and he's seeing ghosts out there. He's like, ghost. Oh man, that was fucking legit. That was fucking legit. But either way, what was I saying? What was I talking about? Take the 5 yards. Let's do that. Okay? Let's do that. Now, I know, the run play is, a lot of it's predicated off the fake with Lamar, and apparently if he's injured, do you even want a fake? I mean, is the fake even worth it if he's not going to run? But, that our offense, it really does predicate off of Lamar Jackson's run game. It's just so deadly that everyone has to respect it. And so you can use that to your advantage, and that's what we do. And so if you think it's not going to be an advantage all of a sudden, and then you stop going towards it, going to it, I guess, it kind of ruins everything on the offense. I mean, but still, they weren't playing their best ball, and they still won. Honestly, the way this game played out, it felt like a Flacco game. Here they come, they're coming back. The defense, you got to hold them. The defense was on the field last. When this year, was this the only time the defense was on the field last? Was this the first time this whole season where the offense did not finish the game for us? Now, I know they got back on the field and did some kneel downs, but I mean, the defense had to make a stop. Is this the first time this season where the defense had to make a stop? Because I can't remember another game where we weren't just driving the ball down the field, eating up clock, and ending the game. Is this the first time? If not, please let me know, because I can't. Maybe the Browns game. Maybe the, I guess any winning game, right? Any game that we won. I really don't know. And this felt like a Flacco game, right? The offense, not so much 3 and outs. I think we get like 1 first down. I think we did get a 3 and out down kind of by our end zone, down our side of the field. But, generally, Dukes of Hazzard. We were moving the ball. Like it's not like we were stagnant. We were just moving the ball, and then out of nowhere, we couldn't get anything done. We'd call some weird play, and that's just what's weird about that game, and why I was kind of upset. It's like we weren't playing our style of football. It's like Greg Roman was trying to do something else. He's trying to put up some different plays. I know people talk about we've already got the playoff spot kind of in. We're already in the playoffs. And we weren't in the playoffs until after that game. But it's like, is he trying to show stuff different, like different play calls? Is he trying to throw people off our scent? Defensive coordinators, is he trying to throw them off their scent? Because one thing I know, our run game is deadly. And Marquise Brown, man. And I know this game, they didn't really utilize him well. There's a couple plays where it's like, ooh, God, why would you even call that? Everything else is, running up the middle is working. Why would you call a jet sweep to Marquise Brown? But even still, man, he is so fucking electric. And looking at that Nick Boyle touchdown, even Marquise Brown was open on that. They kind of layered, Nick Boyle right there up front, right in his face. And then right behind him, Marquise Brown, wide fucking open, sprinting down the field, going about 5 miles an hour faster than everybody else in the out end zone. I mean, that is that play that we did with Nick Boyle, that Nick Boyle touchdown. That is a play that I want to see every single time on the goal line. That should be our go-to. Run Lamar to the right, have a tight end sneak out, and have a wide receiver over top trailing. Because when Lamar takes it and he kind of jump cuts forward and then jump cuts back, and he can literally just, beer pong shot that fucking football. He can basketball shot it to either one of those two. That is indefensible, especially with Marquise Brown because of his speed. Like I was kind of alluding to. I mean, we saw what he could do at the very beginning of the season. I know he's been hurt, but the conspiracy theorist in me, if I'm like one of these, I don't know, I hate to say it, but like a Patriots fan, we're like, dude, Tom Brady, he's always got a way. Bill Belichick, he's doing it on purpose. That's... So is Greg Roman, are they hiding Marquise Brown? After that first game, were they like, all right, we know we're making to the Super Bowl, let's just hide him all the way to the Super Bowl, right? But I mean, he is super explosive, and with the ball in his hands, he is just so fucking quick. It looks like it could break at any moment. It's just we're not using him correctly sometimes, it feels like. It's like, go deep on him. Go him on quick slants or something. What's with these? I get the end around. I understand the concept, but... when everybody's stacking the box on us, that's when you throw the slant to them. So, I don't know. I mean, it's all bullshit anyways, because it's, if it worked, if they win 45-0, oh, he's a fucking genius, making different play calls than they used to, switching it up, oh, he's a fucking genius. Or if it doesn't work, it's like, oh, why don't you stick to your guns? Why don't you do what you're good at? Maybe it was one of those stats things. I know they got a statistician, I guess, analytics guy up in the booth, and maybe they saw what the Bills, the Bills are susceptible to this, the Bills are susceptible to that, and maybe that's why our offense has been so good. It's because we attacked what the opposing team analytically is not good at defending. So maybe it's like our script was wrong. Maybe, we have to make adjustments. Sometimes you got to take the sleeves off when you second half adjustments, right? God, I know Lamar said it wasn't a troll job, but I mean, come on. I mean, the fucking narrative. First of all, this goes back ages. I mean, back in the day. No. I mean, it started with the first game. Everyone calling him a running back. He comes out, throws 5 touchdowns, and he says, not bad for a running back. And then he goes and says, I don't really care what the haters say. But then he'll go and say, prove them wrong. Prove them wrong. I mean, so we're getting mixed messages, but like, it's not a big deal to me. Lamar, a pretty real dude most of the time, but it's like sometimes he'll say stuff, he'll be real, and then he'll remember, oh yeah, don't give him any fuel, don't give him any headlines by saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna prove the doubters wrong, even though he said that, he's kind of going against his own words sometimes, but I mean, it goes back, and then you hear this one guy, maybe it's tough for the defenders because he's got dark skin, he's got a dark uniform, and the ball is dark. And then the next week, he comes out with white fucking sleeves and a white glove on. I mean, come on, bro. Come on. I love the troll job. I know I've heard some analysts say like they don't like, Lamar being petty like that. I fucking love it, bro. I love personality. I love people on the team to have personality. Like, hey, all this, oh, you gotta be, tie up, I don't know, bow tied and whatever. You gotta be lame up on the fucking the mic, right? Talking to the media members. You gotta be lame. I like the pettiness, just show the pettiness. You don't gotta say nothing crazy on the stand. But I love the pettiness. I love it. Yeah, man. They said it wasn't that. He said it was just, oh, he's just cold. But it's like, all right, come on, bro. Come on, bro. You know what you were doing. You could have had any different color. You could have put on purple sleeves. You could have put on black sleeves. I mean, hell, the pants were black. It would have matched. Hey, you put on the white sleeves. But he took them off, and then that very first drive, he throws a fucking touchdown. So you know what? Use your advantage. If it's an advantage that you're black and you use the mesh point, I say use it. Use it to your advantage, Lamar. Use your skin, son. That sounds like I can't say it, but I mean, hell, you know what I mean. You take the advantages that you can. Go for it, my dude. Fuck what anybody else says. Don't listen to them. Not bad for a running back with white sleeves. Yeah, man. And how about those uniforms? I love the white on black. I'm a huge fan of the ice on stone, the ice on smoke. I don't know what you'd call it, but I mean, those jerseys too, the hand warmer jerseys. And, that's, the white on black. That's what we won the Super Bowl last in. I'm a huge fan of the panda. I just love that color scheme. Anytime they wear black pants, I'm a huge fan. Really. Your white top, purple top, black top, any kind of top, tank top. It doesn't matter. I love when they wear the black pants. I think they look pretty fire. I think they look pretty gangsta, pretty thick, bro, pretty sick. Oh, uniforms, you're fucking sick, dude. Fucking sick. Yeah, man. Let's. Actually, before I move on to the defense, I don't know if I mentioned Gus Edwards, but he needs to get the ball more. I think we need to force feed him more, and it kind of goes with kind of what I was saying before, how it's they were giving up runs, and why weren't we just running the ball? We're doing things differently than I feel the Ravens should have, than the way Greg Roman should have called the game. But whatever. I'm just a fan. What the fuck do I know? And I might have missed something. But Gus Edwards is clearly a better running back than Mark Ingram. I know that seems like sacrilege to say, especially, big trust, all that shit that's going on. He is the team's hype man. I dig it. I fucking love it. But Gus Edwards is better, man. I mean, trust me, I've seen great runs from Mark Ingram, but I mean, play to play basis, I love what Gus Edwards did. He needs to get more chances. I've said that maybe I'm hoping that, the Ravens are just kind of holding out. They're just, waiting for it, waiting for December to really use him. But it's like this was the perfect game to use him, right? This was the game. And, they were letting us run the ball, it seemed like, with our running backs. I mean, only 5 yards to carry, but I mean, that's 5 fucking yards to carry. That's what it seemed like. They would get 3, 4, 5 yards. You have to break one loose. And Gus Edwards, he's that dude. And I want the Ravens to run Gus Edwards more. I love Mark Ingram, but I think they should split more. It should be more of a 50-50 split. If not, like, maybe 60-40, with Gus Edwards taking the 60, taking the majority. Give me that majority. Right? So, I just love Gus Edwards' running style. I think it complements Lamar, and it complements our offense in general, that I'm going to run straight forward, but he's got some more wiggle. I listened, he was on the Lounge podcast. He said he's like a pescatarian. I don't know what that has to do with anything. I guess he eats fish. But the dude doesn't eat meat, and he's a bus. I mean, the dude looks quick. He looks like he's still got that power. He ran over someone this weekend. So, fuck, bro. Ravens, I'm going to need you to run Gus Edwards a little bit more. He has bigger runs. Like, I don't know. Like, is it just me? Like, it seems like he, on average, gets bigger runs than Mark Ingram. Like, Mark Ingram, he'll definitely chug along, but I think Gus Edwards breaks him a little bit better. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. But it is what it is. Let's see. So let's talk about the defense, because they came to play. Now, they allowed 17 points, which I'm not a fan of, right? We are the Baltimore Ravens. We're built, we're forged in the fires of defense, my lord, Lord Raven. And they allowed 17 points. I think that one touchdown, that was such a weird sequence, the one touchdown they got. I mean, they got down the field off of like 2 fucking crazy penalties, or was that a different drive? No, that was the final drive. the sequence when they got to the end zone, they just moved down the field. It started off, I think, with like a nice catch by Dawson Knox. Remember the announcer called it he's got a suction cup. I'm Dan Fouts, and I'm a fucking idiot. Oh, God, I hate their voices. I just hate their voices. Ian Eagle and Dan Fouts, both of them. I just hate their voices. Like, can they stop doing our games? Can we get them off of our fucking games? They're really putting a stank on everything that the Ravens do. This is historic. We need Romo every single fucking week. The way they've been playing, they should have Romo. All right? God damn it. I'm tired of this Ian Eagle. Get a new name, bro. And Dan Fouts. Fouts is Yiddish. And it sounds like what it is. You Fouts. You got some schmutz on your Fouts. I don't know. But it sounds like Yiddish. You putz. You Fouts. It doesn't sound like a positive thing. And that's you, bro. Dan Fouts. You are a Fouts. Ian Eagle. Ian? What kind of fucking name is Ian? Shouldn't it be Ian? Get your fucking life, bro. And get off these Ravens games. You're ruining it for everybody. Go home. Nobody likes you. You ain't shit. You ain't never gonna be shit. You never were shit. Alright? A little bit aggressive, but you know what? I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Alright? So it was one of those guys. It was either Ian Eagle or Dan Fouts, and it was a suction cup. But Dawson Knox, he suction cupped that bad boy. Chuck Clark. It was like, damn, bro, you can't be mad at that. It was right there. He was in great coverage. He caught it with one arm. Like, come on, bro. You can't be mad at that. That is an excellent play. Mad respect, dog. But then he comes back, Chuck Clark, playing like a fucking beast. Except for that one play where he's just behind the line, like he's losing in Madden, and it is such a sore loser. He's like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna be offside," so it feels like I didn't even try. Yeah, go fuck yourself. I hate losing, so I'm gonna be cheap about it, And you just go off sides on purpose every single time. You're just standing in the backfield like, "Hey, fuck you! I'm gonna make this non-enjoyable because I'm not having fun." I guess that was because the Ravens weren't ready. And so he made the smart play, to help out the team instead of using a timeout because they might need it at that point. They were driving. They're getting back into the game, just in case you have to come back. I say you keep the timeouts. Take the penalty. They're already there. It's half the distance to the goal, which, might have been like a yard. Take the fucking penalty. Who cares? But then the very next play, when the Ravens got another fucking penalty, I think the Bills had about 5 chances right there, and they finally got it in. Whatever, bro. 5 chances. I like those odds. That was a drive where if they were going to get back in that game, they needed to have a quick drive, and that was not a quick drive. They took so much time off the clock, thanks to the Ravens. But you know what? I thought they played excellent in that drive. Especially at the end there. Not the whole leading up to, some big runs that I wasn't a fan of. I can't remember if that was the drive filled with penalties. I think the last drive was the one that was filled with penalties. And it's like, oh, here we fucking go. End of the game for them to tie it up. We're going to get nothing but penalties on each and every fucking play. Going both ways, but you know what? Whatever. But in that last drive, there's one of the sequences, Chuck Clark came up and hit Josh Allen so fucking hard. Josh Allen is a big boy, right? And Chuck Clark comes in and nails him right in the thigh. And he goes flipping up and back like he's a goddamn child that got double bounced on a fucking... whatever those things are called. What are they called when they fucking... God, I just ruined my whole fucking announcement. The springs and the fucking... It's like fucking... a bouncy thing. What the fuck? Spring? No, it's like the fenced-in backyard. Kids break their legs on them all the time. Jesus, what the fuck? Why can't I think? I feel like a fucking idiot right now. A fucking trampoline. Jesus Christ. It's like, what's the goddamn word for it? So that ruined my analogy. But I mean, Chuck Clark hit the dude and he flew in the air like a child getting double bounced on a trampoline. Fucking hell, we got there. So I'm loving what Chuck Clark is doing. He's, taking kind of a leadership role on defense, doing what needed to be done in that moment where it was, hey, we'll just take the penalty, I'll get in the backfield. And, even like the fucking, some of the O-line was like, what the fuck? This guy is just in the backfield? What the fuck? It was awesome. And I love the way he's been playing. Marlon Humphrey coming up big yet again, hitting, man. Just hitting. He had that other penalty. It's like, man, how the I understand why you call it, but why? That is not tripping. They tripped over. Their legs got caught up. I've seen them say that's incidental contact before. I've seen refs go ahead and say, all right, that is what it was. They both kind of tripped over their legs. It happens. But they decided to throw the fucking penalty because, of course, it was the last fucking drive. And I feel like the refs were all over the Ravens in that game. Right? And what did I say? Only the Ravens' injuries and the refs can stop them this year. Not as bad as the Patriots, but how many, it comes in waves. The Patriots have getting it for how long now? And it's about time the refs fuck them. Oh, boy, and they fucked them. Woo. Didn't even smoke him out before they fucked him. Or after. I don't know. They didn't even wine and dine before they fucked him. That was fucking sick, bro. Fucking sweet. But, I feel like the refs definitely were not having a good game, especially towards us. It's, where it's like missed penalties and then penalties. And on that touchdown that they had, that one touchdown that they had, it was a pick play. That was a clear and obvious pick. And I've seen them call such bullshit on us where it's like, what? How the fuck are you going to call that? The guy, he didn't even touch him. Didn't even touch him. They're literally running by with his hands up. I didn't do it. Nope, you fucking did it, bro. Call the penalty because you're the Ravens and you deserve nothing. Okay? Whatever, bro. It was a clear and obvious pick play. And they picked on, what's-his-face, Marcus Peters. But you know what? Marcus Peters was unfazed because even after that play and then all that bullshit on the refs' side of things to drive them all the way down the field. That's what the refs did. The refs drove them all the way down the field. Any single time they moved the ball, it was directly after a fucking stupid-ass penalty. One that makes you go, what? And it goes to the fact that momentum is an unquantifiable thing on the stat sheet. Momentum changes. When there's a bullshit penalty, when you're feeling down on your team, nothing's going your way, and all of a sudden, hey, we got movement, we got some team, or we got some yards now. Then it's like, fuck, they got the momentum, they're going to go for it, they're gonna move the ball, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, they start moving the ball. It seems like that every single fucking time. It's goddamn momentum. And the refs, I feel like they know it. Give them some yards, give them a break, and all of a sudden, well, we got this, man. We can do this. And now you've given them hope. And it's impossible to take that hope away. Especially at home. But, I feel like we were getting hometown for sure. You can't blame them about it. But, it's still upsetting, right? It's still a fact of life. You can't blame the refs for a loss. You can't praise them for a win. But you can say, they're playing they're calling the game like trash. They're doing it like ass. You can't say, oh, if they didn't do that, we would have won. Because, of course it goes both ways. But I feel like we were getting the brunt of the trash calls. So, it is what it is. The defense definitely came to play. Matt Judon, they were getting pressure on Allen all fucking game, bro. It was nice. We got some sacks. Judon killing it. Jalen Ferguson, man. This is like the second week in a row where I just came away fucking impressed by him. Down by the goal line after that weird fucking sequence, where Chuck Clark's in the backfield. The very next play, they're going for the end zone. They're on like the 2 or 1 yard line. Very good field position. They're running it. He comes in and denies that man in the backfield. Devin Singletary, who he had a pretty good game, but Zadarius Smith. Jalen Ferguson came in and put a stop to that. I think one thing that I was impressed with the most, he's doing veteran things like not falling on the quarterback. It happened this week, but it's happened multiple times this year where I've seen him, the quarterback's rolling to one side or the other, and he's in chase, and the quarterback gets rid of the ball, and it's one of those situations where, back in the day, I guess, 5 years ago, you could have tackled the quarterback and landed on him, and that would have been totally fine. But now you can't do that. You can't land on him. It's the area where it's like, okay, you can push him over. And so he will shove the fuck out of quarterback, but then not land on him. That's the key. You can't land on him. And that is a veteran move to, understand the situation and say, hey, I can't put my team in jeopardy by falling on this quarterback, by doing what I feel is right, by punishing this man for thinking he can throw on this field. Right? I am the pass rusher, and my job is to get you on the ground. So when I get you on the ground, I'm going to make you feel it. I'm going to make you feel all 270 of me. I'm going to land on you. I'm going to jump up in the air and land on you. Sumo wrestler style. I'm coming from the top rope, baby. And that's a lot of those bullshit penalties. Like, man, he fucking landed on the quarterback. Go fuck yourself. How is that a goddamn penalty? But it is. Whatever. But Jalen Ferguson, man, he's not falling for it. Bro, he is not falling for it. He's saying, I am not going to put my team in jeopardy by being selfish and trying to, land on the quarterback. Make him feel my presence. He knows it. And we were hitting him. We were hitting Josh Allen, bro. And I'm a huge fan of Jalen Ferguson for doing that. Another year in the weight room. Next year, I think he's going to be a breakout guy. Especially if what I think is going to happens where Judon just prices out and he goes somewhere else. So he's going to be the main guy. I think we draft some pass rushers this year. I'm definitely going to get into that, especially after the season. I'm going to go balls deep in this. I already have some ideas on types of players, not the player yet. I haven't really gone into looking at anybody yet. But one thing about pass rusher, I'm not looking for pass rushers. I am not looking for speed guys. I am looking for Mike Myers push your way back to the quarterback slowly but surely. I'm looking for a sturdy presence, and that's what I'm going to be looking for. I think that's the way the future of the league is going. I mean, who are these dominant pass rushers of past? The speed guys, where are they? Do they get any sacks? All I do is rush the passer. No, you need to be able to hold up in the run game. Now, how many sacks does Von Miller have? And he's one of the best, right? Even Khalil Mack. It's not on the individual. It's done by a system. I've talked about this before, and I will give you my dissertation another time because I have like a thesis on this bad boy. I should write a paper on it, how I think where the league's going, how I think the Ravens should draft, and if they're smart, this is where they draft. I think the analytics would point to the way I think that individual high-paid pass rushers aren't worth it. You don't get a lot in return for that. But either way, I'm going to be recording a podcast for the Jets. I might do it right after this and have it come out tomorrow, or I might just record it tomorrow after work. I just got to make sure I'm not too tired and I can come home and do that and force myself to do it, because that's always tough. First day of the week, going in for 10 hours, coming out of it and being like, I don't want to do nothing, but got to talk some Ravens because the game is coming up, man. The game is coming up. Super excited. I'm sure I missed a bunch of stuff that I wanted to talk about with this Bills game, but like always, it is what it is. So if you're listening on YouTube, feel free to follow me on and subscribe to all things Craven Some Raven, I guess. I mean, I am a podcast, so I am on other podcasting apps, most importantly iTunes and Spotify. Those are the big ones. Google Play. I'm on like Stitcher. I'm on another one that I just don't even remember. I'm on the big ones. If you can't find me there, I am on YouTube. I get a lot of views on YouTube. Well, not a lot. I mean, for me, it seems like a lot. I'll get like 40 views and I'm like, holy shit. I mean, 40 people clicked on this thing for more than a minute. I mean, come on, bro. without advertising the bad boy, just talking Ravens, just being a true fan. So, if you'd like to lock your phone, put it in your pocket, listen to some great Ravens content, you can follow me on those podcasting apps. That way you can put your phone in your pocket, chill. You don't have to have the screen open, kind of. You can click off of that. You can listen to it and do other stuff on your phone. That's why I like podcasts. That's why I do a podcast. And I don't need to show my face every single time, so I can roll out of bed and record this bad boy if I so desire. If I so desire. So with that being said, like I said, I'm probably missing something I wanted to talk about, but that was an excellent game. We won 24-17. A real classic Ravens, Joe Flacco type win, the way they played defense, ugly on offense at certain points, but just making the plays that need to be made and getting that W over another potential AFC playoff contender. We are now done with our crazy stretch of games. We still got the Steelers as the only other playoff option. The Jets are out of it. I think the Browns are officially out of it. So with that being said, I will talk to you later. We're going to talk about this Jets Thursday night game. And until then, I'll leave you with a Go Ravens. Go Ravens.